Welcome to Kiki's House of Joy, where joy is built with intention. Lots of intention. Woo! This is the best week ever, week 13. Every week I come on this channel and I let you know what happened in the best week ever. I have this whole thing where every year it's the best week ever. And so I break it down week by week. And I let Sundays be a time where I get to come and just share and set the intention for the new week, of course, as well. And so I will tell you about what happened from Sunday to Saturday in these categories. It is something new, something challenging, something funny, something deep, and then something beautiful. And there might be little things added in there, but I don't think so. I don't know if there's any bonus content today. But who knows? Sometimes towards the end, I find the bonus content. But I did break down this. I broke down the categories pretty well today. So welcome. Come on in. Relax yourself. If you are doing a task, please do it. I know some people listen and work. I love that. I know some people clean. I know some people straight up hang out. Whatever you like to do, I'm glad that you're here listening to me. One of my favorite things to do is listen to other people talk. So I also hope that I get to provide the same joy that I get listening to other people. So I'm going to speak to you candidly. I'm going to tell you about my life. I'm feeling very good today, even though I'm a little tired. So let's do a check-in. One, how are you doing? Take time. How do you actually feel? Me, let's see how I feel. I feel a little tired. I oh, I didn't write this down. Hold on. I got to write this down. I had a night last night. I had a night. Your girl had a night. So I'm feeling tired. And after today, after I do this video, I'm going to relax like hardcore. And what else? I feel really happy. I feel optimistic. I feel just in general, I just feel good, you know? Let's see if we'll see what else. How else do I feel? I feel excited. Can't wait to tell you about my week. I can't wait to share with you these little treasures. All right, so let's begin. I want to get in and see how we do, because I do want to say there is rest that is waiting for me. I started late today because I was tired. I woke up late. I have been finding ways to get up early on a Sunday. I mean, get going by noon. Not today. Didn't happen, if you can't tell. I'm just slow. I think my stepdad calls me like at 1 or something, at 1:30, and I was like, good morning. And he was like, morning? I was like, yeah. I said, I was out late last night. He's like, all right, it's morning then. And we were just chatting it up, but that's how tired I was. Because usually it's the other way around. They actually get up a lot later on a regular, they get up much later. So for me to be the one, it's like, I'm usually up way before them. They ever even think about opening their eyes. So anyway, so we were just chatting it up. But here we go. All right. But now it's time. I got to stretch a little bit. So one thing new is that I am working in more stretching into my week and then just to my workout regimen. Now that I have a better timing as far as walking in the morning and kind of getting that physical exercise out, I am now trying to use like 15 minutes to 20 minutes of my evening just to do like really nice warm wind down exercises and also a little bit of strength training. So, because that's the thing I needed to add in, but I was feeling so tired and exhausted, I couldn't figure out where to put it. But now if I'm only doing 15, 20 minutes, I can do that. Like I can handle that. That's a good use of my time and a good way to use my time. So that's where I'm at now. Okay, but let's get into what else is new. What else is new is that for the first time in my life, I went to 2 surprise parties in 1 week. Yes, 2 surprise parties in 1 week. Surprise parties are hard, man. It's so weird when you know that you are trying to surprise people. I don't know how you are. I'm not good at keeping secrets like that. And so I'll just like avoid the people. I'm afraid to do anything. And it's funny. I'll tell you about one of the surprises that, because I asked both people if they were surprised and they were like, both of them were like, we knew. But it doesn't matter. It still feels good. So I'm like, but they don't, just because you know it's happening, it doesn't mean you know, right? But you know that something sweet is happening. I do. I've had a true surprise party where I had no clue, like not at all. And it was a lot of fun, but the only thing about that particular party that I had was I didn't know half the people there. So like I saw familiar people, but it was also just like a party for people. I'm like, y'all don't know me. So that was kind of weird. But the sentiment was really sweet. I never had a surprise party. So it was really sweet for it was a boyfriend at the time that he did that. A little off, but it was really sweet. So I think surprise parties are great and I love being a part of them. Okay, so let's actually talk about the surprise parties. So two, there's one for my friend and the other one was for a coworker. The coworker was celebrating 35 years of working in the one place. I was like, 35 years of working in one place. Couldn't be me. I could tell you that right now. But it was pretty cool to be able to like be there and see someone else. I was very honored and happy to be there because I was like, this is probably gonna be the only 35-year party that you were ever going to attend in your life. Take it in, girl. So I did. And it was cute. Like people she had worked with came, family and friends came. We had like a nice little like kind of decoy, and when we did it, we're like, oh, we have to use this conference room. Meanwhile, the real like conference room downstairs, that they were bringing in all the food and everything. We had pretended that there was going to be a catered lunch just with a small team, and there wasn't. We had fun. It was a lot of fun. There was games being played. We had skee ball. We had all just like, I mean, we had skee ball. We were making like the little mini Legos. We had what else did we do? There was no computers came out. It was just a good freaking time. So it was just there was just a beautiful day. And then we were like, okay, it's time to go downstairs. And when we go downstairs, like we all of us like hurry up and get there before she comes. And then there's a moment where like she was like trying to walk around before it was time for lunch, and lunch was like the potluck, the party part. When she came, I mean, she was trying to walk around, and so there was someone. What's up, Straight Panther? There was someone who was walking with her, like babysitting her. And I know she had to be like, "What the hell's going on?" But we were just keeping her away from the party. So it was just so much fun. Just it was the party itself was just so much fun, and just the anticipation of it. And for me, like I said, I freeze up, so I wasn't barely talking to her because that's how I am. Like I can't talk to the person because I don't want to give it away, and I feel like I'm going to give it away somehow, some way. So I was like, hey, good morning. Like, not much. Whole time I'm just like inside. I'm like about to burst. I'm like, knowing what's happening. So, but when I tell you we had a good time, we just had a really, really, really great time. So she had thought the party would like the acknowledgement for her 35 years was like the first morning part where we even had a decoy cake. We had 2 cakes. When I tell you we went cake crazy. 2 cakes I had in one day. I mean, just like off the chain as far as like, I've had a lot of cake this week in general. I've had a lot of cake. I mean, what's next on this list is a story about cake, but I've had a lot of cake this week. And I mean, I just had a time. So that party was really sweet. When she was surprised, she didn't cry, but I did. I was crying. I was so happy. It was so beautiful. And I just had a good time with my people. But man, the amount of cake this week right now is going to be a week of repair and cleansing. It's going to be a week of repair and cleansing from last week because I had a time, but I have to repair and cleanse. I might after this run to the store and get my cleansing ingredients because I just need to go through I'm going to get all my calories in, but it's going to be a week of repair and cleansing. Because geez Louise, I'm gonna have to get my calories in a totally different way. Because what I did last week, Lord have mercy. Woo! Like I see evidence of it even on my skin. I'm like, you've done too much. So I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it. But it was worth it. Like these are little things that you can fix. it was worth it. It was absolutely worth it. So, all right. So that was the first party. The second party was one of my friends I met through dance. And so, this is like, you guys hear about these people. We get together, we do a lot of fun things. His girlfriend had reached out trying to get people's numbers. We got all the different people. It was the sweetest party. It was the sweetest gathering. Um, we had just the right amount of people. It was a perfect like amount of people there. Everyone like we all just like just all love him, and he's such a great guy. Like he really is such a great guy. And then his girlfriend, she's really sweet. So it was just super like it was like so sweet. I was very proud of myself because you have to realize this was my second surprise party. So I feel like I'm the surprise party expert. So I already had one on Wednesday and now I get another surprise party. I'm like, I'm ready. So we were like doing all the stuff, blowing up balloons. Like we came a little early, so we were really fixing it up and like kind of making it look cute. There were games, there's all kinds of stuff, but I had a feeling we were never going to touch those games because just the company itself was going to be nice. It was a group of people where we all know each other, we all get along, we all have things that we want to talk about and catch up on, and when we have those gatherings, that's where we do it. So like you already know that that's what's going to happen. And it was a ball. It was such a sweet celebration, and we stayed until midnight to where it actually became his birthday, which actually what made it even sweeter. It was okay, let me tell you more about it though. What I liked about all the different little elements of the party that I enjoyed. So the first party, it was just like that nostalgia, the family and friends like of this person coming at work, super super amazing, and just the amount of time, and there's a lot of humor and just like I'm 35 years, that kind of thing, right? But just to see this sense of accomplishment in the person. And then my friend, what made it so sweet was there was so much effort made to make it nice. One of our friends was the decoy, so she was like out with him and trying to like, they were eating, they were like really like trying to like, they were having a whole meal and she's kind of keeping him distracted. Another there were like different friends that came from his first world that came together, and they just all enmeshed really well. One of his friends from like elementary school, which was super cute, she was there. What else? What are the cool aspects of this whole thing? Just the music, a lot of boogaloo and salsa. We had a salsa dance. So whenever it's your birthday in the salsa, like, bachata community, you do like, or any kind of social dance community, you have a birthday dance. So that means the birthday person stands in the middle, and then all the people who want to dance with him go around in a circle, and you kind of like jump in and you steal dances. And so usually when it is a follow, typically a woman, and it's mostly the men that are going around. I say mostly because I'm often in those circles too because I lead. So but typically a follow and leads around. It gets a little aggressive. Like it gets a little wild because it's a lot of male energy, kind of that competitive, like trying to jump in and steal the dances. And this one actually I think it's because out of us who were kind of going around the circle, 3 of us could lead. So he wasn't just surrounded by follows, he was also surrounded by leads. So you already had like 3 leads in there. And we were mostly following. I think I didn't lead him. I didn't lead him. I enjoyed following. But they were 2 of them did lead him. So it was like switching around, like tricking him into following and like kind of going back and forth. It was just the best because he does know how to follow as well. So the best dancers know how to do both. I'm just saying. That's just my personal opinion. You don't have to be great at them, but with knowing both sides really does change the way you dance. That's just a little note. And so we were just having a blast, just dancing with each other. We were just moving all around. I mean, it was just so much fun. Like I got to do everything I like to do. And then what else made it great? It was totally themed to him, so super cute. He's a pilot, and so there's airplanes everywhere. And his girlfriend jokes that it was really hard to find airplane decorations that were not geared towards a toddler. So like these were the real ones. And it was kind of cool. Like, he was like able to tell us all the planes and everything. What else was really nice about this? Oh, gosh, the company. I just think the company, it was a nice group of people. Everyone who was there, it was like everyone was perfectly like it was a perfect group of people, a good harmony of people, nice vibes, sweet hugs. Like I just I love a good time, and I love when people come together in such a wonderful way. And I love celebrating my friends. I've said this before on this channel many times. I love celebrating my friends. I love celebrating people. It feels so good. It feels so good. I mean, I always feel for them a little bit when all that attention is on them and they feel shy and they feel kind of like, ah. But at the same time, I just love celebrating them. I love being in the audience, you know, and clapping and smiling. I just love it. It's a great feeling. Like I'm feeling it now. It's just a great feeling to celebrate your friends, especially good people. So I hope he got my present because I was like, man, it was just a small little thing. I hope he got it, but I did get him something really cool when I was in Paris. So I'm like, you better got this present because I got this for you from Paris. We'll see what happens. I hope he gets it. I haven't heard yet, so I'm gonna ask him to look for it. So what else? So that was the party part. So let's tell you more about it. There's more. For the first time, I tried 2 new things. This is something new. Non-alcoholic Guinness beer. And I was like, why is there all this Guinness here? Because his girlfriend made a Guinness cake, a Guinness chocolate cake. When I tell you, Straight Panther. Okay, hold on. Okay, Straight Panther says it's gross. Let me tell you my story, okay? One, I like Guinness. I always did like Guinness. I don't drink now, but you know, I have the beers that I liked that I would enjoy, like genuinely enjoy, because I didn't drink beer like that. But when I did drink and I was like, oh, I'll have a beer. These are the kind of beers I would have. I would like a dark beer. Guinness was my entryway into a dark beer, and I liked Guinness. And I would like Heineken. Just basic Heineken. I don't know. I always felt it to be very fresh and crisp. Okay. Okay, you adore you like okay. Cold. Okay. All right. Never mind. I was like, why do you have that face? And what else did I have? And then the Guinness cake. Hold on. And Heineken. And what else did I like? What's my other beer? It's a non-alcoholic part. I think that's what you're trying to tell me. They were good. They were good. They were very, very, very good. I can't. So the 2 non-alcoholic beers that I've tried. No, I tried 3. I tried a Stella, which I didn't like too much. I could have done without that. I tried a Heineken. Totally took me back to the refreshing times of enjoying a Heineken. Loved it. And then and then Guinness was this one. Oh, it was so good. And I'm trying to think if there's any other beers. Other beers that I liked are not as popular. You would typically find them in tap rooms, were like a Left Hand Milk Stout. I like stouts, like a lot of, like, you know, well, that's what kind of Guinness is. I like those dark, like, you know, like beers that were like meals. A Left Hand Milk Stout, and I used to enjoy that with sushi. Nice little combination. And then what else did I like? I'm trying to think of any other beer. I used to have like those the New Orleans, like Abita, those ones, like those kind of beers. Those weren't too bad. But I'm trying to think if there are any more go-tos. Those are my go-tos. But I would never buy beer. But I'm telling you, if I went out, and I just wanted beer, that's what I would try. But I don't drink, and alcohol doesn't feel good to me. But I still have the nostalgia of those, of like what, when I did enjoy like having a beer. So to have a Guinness, a non-alcoholic Guinness, I tried it. I was like, oh, this may not be good. It was better to me because it's funny. What I realized I didn't like about Guinness was the alcohol. So when you take it out and you still have the flavor, I'm like, this is fantastic. I was thoroughly pleased. Thoroughly pleased. Heineken the same way. It's like, I'm like, thoroughly pleased. So I was very happy with those beers. So Guinness, this was brand new. And then the Guinness cake. So she made, so the icing of this cake was a cream cheese espresso icing. The chocolate, I mean, it was moist, it was decadent, It was divine. I have some in my freezer because I need to have just a little bit more before I fix this week. I got to fix this week. This week is a week of repair, but I got to have a little bit more. We just got a little bit. I got a little bit. Not a lot. I got a little bit in the freezer. Because, oh my. I mean, she just did some miracles. And so she said you can look it up. That's a cake. So listen, my friend can cook. So my friend, he can cook. Like, that's, ever tell you about someone who cooks and he's always like looking out for me? That's him. She can bake. They are a perfect match. May they always be together. May they always invite me to dinner parties. For real. For real. May they always be together. I don't care if they live in a different part of the country. I will take the flight. I will visit. Please prepare the guest room for me. Okay? Please prepare the guest room for me. May you always be together. May you always invite me for dinner parties. That's all I'm asking. That's all I want. You know? That's it. So that's all I want. S'il vous plaît. Mes amis. S'il vous plaît. Okay. Because that cake was absolutely divine. Because I first had the cake, I was like, this is really good. Because I was like, because the way it looked, I thought she bought it. I'm like, oh, where did they buy that cake from? Because it was so big and it just looked so perfect. I was like, where did they buy the cake from? And then when we tried it, I was just like, where did you get this cake? And she said she made it. I told everyone, I'm like, she made it, y'all. She made it. She made it. It was just so good. So this is one of the best cakes I've ever had in my life. So you guys already know. It was one of the best cakes I ever had in my life. So you already know. I mean, we know this is the best week ever check-in, but food will take it there for me. It will. And so I had a non-alcoholic Guinness, which like took me to a wonderful space of nostalgia. And then I enjoyed a Guinness cake, a Guinness chocolate cake. I don't remember I said I don't like chocolate. Well, I said that. I appreciate chocolate now because that cake, oh my God, delicious. It was so good. It was so good. Bless her always. Bless her hands. Bless her mind. May she always be able to navigate her way around a kitchen and bake goods in an oven. May she always find recipes that she just masters and does wonderfully with. I mean, just bless her. And it was super sweet. And you could see how happy he was and how grateful he was. They were so cute. Every time he saw them, they'd just be like looking at each other. Oh, I love you. I love you. Oh, I loved it. Like I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what life is about. So I just enjoy that kind of energy. So I'm grateful. Okay. Okay. So your mother did the cream cheese too. I'm telling you, it changes the game. And this one had like a little espresso in it. It was so good. It was so good. Okay. And then she made I forgot she made an ice cream too. The ice cream was good, but the ice cream was good. But when I tell you the cake, but the ice cream was really good too. Okay, so finish the extra. So then I finished. So that was that. I think, okay, that was a bit about something new. I had a great time. 2 surprise parties in 1 week. What? That's crazy, right? Okay, and then another thing I did was I finished The Extraordinary Attorney Woo. I don't know if I started this week or not, but it was my Korean drama. I'm not sure if I told you guys, but I'm watching Korean dramas right now because I want to, but also I find it to be studying. I find it to be I'm trying to look at modern ones and seeing how they're approaching story building and character building and all of that. And also I'm using it to kind of pay attention to what details I put into my writing as well. So it's studying. I'm just seeing what I like. I'm like, well, what did you like about the styling? Because one thing I'll say is that I got into Korean dramas because of the storytelling. It was storytelling that I felt like I always wanted. And so watching them now and kind of looking at the pacing of it, that's kind of what I'm doing. Thinking like, oh, it'd be interesting. Korean dramas, typically their series will be like 16 episodes, 18, 20 episodes, like kind of like a long, like hours of episodes. So you have that many hours versus like a movie, or even like the way Bridgerton is done in like a six or 10 episodes, or the way a lot of American series are done in like, 10 episodes. So I like the idea that I would be creating something that would be like a 18 episode situation. So not telenovela, which is like could be 46, something crazy to tell a whole story, and not so much, but like 18, 20 episode like a series to tell a whole story. I kind of want to do something like that. So I've been paying attention to pacing and the way things evolve and how details, are done, world building, all of that. So I've been really enjoying it. And this particular one was really good. It was about an autistic attorney. The love story was super cute. I don't know if it was believable, but it was super cute. I feel like they need a season 2. Apparently, I just looked before we got here. They are doing a season 2. They started work on it this year. So I'm down. I can't wait to see what that looks like, because I think that there is way too much more of that story that they needed to tell. I hope the writer knows how to do it. I hope the writer knows how to do it. The writer clearly wrote it with the idea that there was more, but I hope the writer understands or knows how to really build that story out, because I think they could do some really great things with it. Especially, I just feel like, man, like you've only just begun and really trying to navigate what it looks like for a genius autistic woman to navigate love, friendship, life. How does she grow? Like, how do her peers grow around her? And what I liked so much about her character is that she was happy. And I feel happy. Like, I don't know if it's from how I live my life, if it's from the walking, because walking does wonders for you mentally, for your well-being. And I do it every day. So like I have natural built-in antidepressant activities that are put into my everyday life. And so I'm just genuinely happy. And feeling happy like I am, it feels, how do you put it? I don't know, it's not lonely, but it's yeah, I don't feel lonely because I have me and I like me. But sometimes I do feel different. I feel different, when I'm around people. And that's okay. I mean, different is good, but I'm just saying what I feel. I'm like, because I'm really happy. But I also have built in so many things to do that. Like it's not like it's because of I put the effort in. I put the effort in, and I enjoy feeling joy. I enjoy saying nice things to myself. I enjoy um being kind to myself. We were talking about kindness yesterday, and we were talking about like relationships, and I was just kind of just saying, I'm like, I really like myself, and I like being nice to myself. Like I like it. I like finding ways to say sweet things to myself. I just enjoy the process. So, um feeling the way that I do, it's hard to sometimes when you're in a space where you could tell maybe not everyone's feeling that way. Yeah, you feel it. It's a weird feeling. You're like, okay, I'm having a slightly different experience. But I'm finding peace with that. And so we're getting into something challenging. All right, so let's go into something challenging. You know, there is that. I know that might sound weird, but I did find that challenge to accept my happiness. I know that sounds weird. But there is this thing where you have to accept your happiness, because you'll look around and the world will tell you, no, you shouldn't be happy, or no, no. I'm like, but I am. And you have to accept it. There's no other way to put it. You have to accept it. So yeah, interesting. For sleep has been a factor. My sleep has been messed up, super messed up last week. Like I said, this week I have to have a reset. By Sunday comes next week, you're gonna hear probably about sleep, because I have to have a freaking set, because the sugar, the amount of cake that I had this week is absolutely insane. I am high right now, and I don't know if it's from I am like, this sugar, it's wild. I'm going to be drinking a lot of water. I'm going to start my cleanse now and just working to cleanse it out, because woo-wee. And then I think that cake had espresso in it. I don't consume caffeine, so I didn't go to bed till 4 a.m. No, I didn't go to bed till 5 a.m. I want to go back to sleep. But I still feel hopped up on just like, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat a nice little meal, get my veggies in, kind of nourish myself, get my calorie intake, and I'm gonna try to do that before. Look at me, look at a watch that doesn't exist. I have a watch on my ankle. I'm gonna try to do that. I'm still looking at my fake watch, but don't judge me. But it's helping me think about what I'm trying to do. I want to get that done before 6, and then just lay there and relax. Let my body. I've already done all the work. I've burnt all the calories. I've done a lot. Okay. I think I'm at 11,000 steps, probably closer to 12,000 steps right now. So I've done the work, right? And now it is time. I'm going to eat well, eat lots of veggies, get lots of fluid, and just lay there. I'm going to be done by 6, lay there, and then just rest. Because I got a week ahead of me and I want to be on it. So that's what I'm going to do. Yes, I will. I'm going to do that. Absolutely. Because I'm like, because I drink water. So see, for me, okay, you have it on a regular. I drink water. I drink tea, like a green tea, but a very diluted green tea. I'm not a caffeine, whatever. So I am like, the high hit on Wednesday when we had the first cake, me and my supervisor, who also kind of like, she's not big sugar, we were both like loopy. We're looking at each other like, oh my God, like, we were just all over the place. It was a great day. I will say, like, sugar gives you, like, sugar is there's a joyous feeling from sugar. There's a joyous feeling from sugar. But anyway, whew. So I finally understand sugar a lot. I get it. I used to have dreams about chocolate cake. I know that sounds weird. I used to have dreams about cake or wanting cake, and now I get it. That was when I was kind of a little depressed and was feeling sad. I'm like, I'm living the actual reality of this cake eating right now, and now I understand why I was dreaming about it, because that was what I was craving. I'm like, well, this is it, girl. I've achieved the freaking goals. I have achieved it. I'm here. I have arrived. Whew. Yeah, I'm still. I'm looking at you. Let me calm down. I'm still like feeling just like high. I can't explain it from sugar. So yeah. Okay. All right. So I went wild on the sugar. And one of the reasons why I went wild on the sugar is because there was no food for me at these parties, y'all. So that was the other challenging thing. So that messed up my sleep. So the sugar has messed up my sleep because I'm not used to consuming it. The caffeine probably did as well. And I went wild at these parties, and I went wild at parties because there was no food. So my caloric intake, the food that I was eating, was just cake. I was living off of cake. Cake, cookies. What else? I mean, just not good stuff, At one point I had some apples and cheese because I was trying to balance out my life, but it was they didn't do it. I was living my life. So there was no food for me really at these parties. And I didn't trust it also. Like, I'm like, there are some things that I ate, but I wasn't eating. I felt like this week if I didn't eat cake, I had cheese and like cheese and a vegetable or cheese and fruit. Super weird. I mean, just a weird freaking week. But if it wasn't cake, it was cheese and vegetables or cheese and fruit. So like, for example, at the other party, when I had cake all day, and then finally I was like, oh, I should probably eat something healthy. I had bought I had bought some apples for the potluck that I never opened for anyone because I had put it on the wrong. I put my apples on the wrong floor, and I didn't want to have to go up to the floor and bring them back down and everything because I didn't want to mess up the surprise part. So once I got everything underway, I didn't feel like leaving the party. And there was so much food, they didn't eat my apples. So that meant when I came home, on my way home, I had my apples and my cheese tray. And I had gotten this really good cheddar and Gruyere, which is actually should be something new because that was amazing. Something I tried for the first time this week. It was delicious. And I'm eating apples and cheese on my drive home. Bizarre. So then yesterday I go in and what do they have? Like, it was like a whole lot of meat. It was like a charcuterie board with like salami and meat. And then you have the mozzarella and like the the tomato and basil. So I ate that. Once again, pretty much fruit and cheese, tomatoes and fruit. And then apples, they had apples and brie. It was the same theme each time. Life is so weird. We are definitely living in a simulation because what? Like, what in the world? So we had apples, and they had apples and pears and brie. And people weren't really eating it. And I was like, well, good. If y'all don't eat this, this is good because this is my thing. And so then they had tacos, but they got tacos from a place that I hate because that place is not vegetarian or vegan friendly at all. Like, I hate that place. It's the worst place. It sucks. It's called Taco Boys. Throw it away. It sucks. I can't stand you all. I know you'll probably never see this video, but I hate you all. I hate you all. You don't make food for me. I don't like you. I don't want your place to exist. I do feel that deeply about it because I just don't like it. I don't like it. If you only have a quesadilla to serve me, that sucks and it's not fair. If you're so good at making different food, you should be able to make at least one thing that people who don't eat meat can enjoy. And if you don't want to make that, then fine. But then I'm just going to tell you the truth. I hate you. I know hate's a strong word, but that's how I feel. That is how I feel. I won't say I hate. I take back hate. I strongly dislike you. Je déteste. Okay. Y'all can figure out what that means in French. I might have said the same thing. Okay. So birria. Yeah, they had birria tacos. They had good food. I mean, like, that other people liked. That you could tell they were all happy. But it's just, to me, whatever. And it's so funny because, it wasn't, the person who did the food was his girlfriend. And it's funny, he came up to me and he was like, I would have had something for you. I said, I know. He's like, I had nothing to do with this food because I would have had something for you. I'm like, I know you would have. And he does. He always makes sure that I have something to eat. And it's one of the nicest things. It's one of the nicest things. Like, I almost want to cry because, and I was like, I know, that week, that was my challenge this week. I was struggling, like, just not having food to eat and not having good food to eat, so that I end up eating like weird stuff. But I did invent something, and that was, I didn't have birria tacos. I had, what's up, Cypher? I had, brie tacos. So I took brie. I know that's what you're hearing. You heard it right. I took brie and then I put it in, and then they had some beans there, and luckily the beans did okay because Juanita, she was there and she was like, don't eat the beans. They got lard in them. So sometimes that lard can disrupt me, but I was okay. I drank a lot. I had just a little bit, and I ate a lot of food just to kind of, once I realized that I think it has lard in it, they were a little too fancy tasting, if you will, little something else. You can't eat meat with veggies. Did I just read that? I'm just looking right now. What? So when I just looked at that part. Je peux tout simplement pas manger de viande avec les légumes. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm okay. Luckily, I'm okay. It didn't upset my stomach. But I had brie. At first, I had a little bit of beans and like the sauces. Very good. I was very pleased with my little creation. But that really, like, I just had like a few of those brie tacos. So that was a good thing. It's not something, would I ever have it again? I mean, it actually wasn't bad. I'm be honest with you. It was pretty good. It's kind of rich. If you think about it, it was very, very rich having brie tacos. But for the party, for the situation, but that was all I had to eat. I just told you what I ate. And so then I just went wild on some cake. Like, that was it. I didn't have like these choices in front of me like everyone else. So that was a challenge for me. So that's why I went wild on sugar. I went wild on cake. I don't know whew. See, at first me and Juanita shared cake, but then I shared another cake with someone else. I know. Don't talk. I lived my life. I was living my life, and it was fun. No regrets. Absolutely no regrets. Only joy. Okay. I say this because I still am, working on losing the full few pounds. So I am on a pretty like strong regimen here. But yeah, it's a part of life though. It's a beautiful journey and I'm on it and I still have good food. All right, what else here? So sleep and then of course no food at the parties. That was challenging. And then learning French. This is challenging mostly in my mind. Like the thing is, I want to be able to speak it so fluently. I want to just understand it all. And it's just challenging. It's not a bad thing. I think challenge is important. But last night we did speak a lot of it together. And I found that the more I have studied, when he speaks French to me, I really know what he's saying. Like I'm not missing anything. And I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. Like I'm understanding the language when it's being spoken, at least by him, and that's pretty cool. I have a feeling like a more native speaker, I might be like, ah. But he really can speak to me in French, and I really can respond back. It's not perfect, but it's happening, and it's definitely better than it was before. And so like I feel a difference in just my language learning, but it's challenging. And I felt it this week. This week I was like, oh, I just want to be so good. And the lessons that I've been having this week are a bit harder. Like I feel like the level kind of going up and I'm like, am I grasping all the concepts? Am I losing it? Is my pronunciation like not good? I was having all these issues like confidence wise with my French learning this week. But I just think I'm just going to say that's a part of it. And if I have to slow it down, I will. I'm like, maybe you just need to like slow it down and just go over these lessons. But I need to, or I might just do some more research on the different stages of language learning. Sometimes that helps me. Whenever I'm having a challenge, I'll research, well, what are the stages? What are the different things? What are the ways that people feel? And it helps me kind of see like, oh, you're having a normal experience. This is just a part of it. Or, hey, you might want to do this to support your learning. So I'm going to probably do a little research there just to kind of like, let me see. Oh, you're studying Armenian? Is that what hold on. It says, je commence à étudier l'araméen, professeur. Let me see if that's right. Aramaic. Oh, very good. I didn't know it. Aramaic. Nice. Okay, do it. Well, you probably will feel like I am. Sometimes you just feel like you're not getting anywhere, even if you're putting in the work. Like I study every day, but I'm like, oh, I still freeze up, or oh, I forget, to put this there and this there, and it's a bit of a journey, but I'm trying to get there. Yeah. So we're trying to get there. Let's see. All right. So now something funny. I say I don't know if it was funny to me, but Juanita was tickled by it. So I'm gonna tell you what made her laugh. And it was something I was doing. So I just discovered, so I had like a few errands to run this week. And in running my errands, like you ever have like papers that you have and like important things, or you're gonna have to like do a few things once you get there, whether it's like writing stuff or you might need tape or whatever. So, but you need different things, right? When you go somewhere. So I had to go to the post office this week, and there were a few things that I knew I might need. And I knew I needed a pen. I knew I might need a stapler or whatever. So I have a shoe box. And so what I did was on my first trip, I just put everything I needed in the shoe box, like all my little equipment. And I put in the car, because that way once in the car, it doesn't like, you're not going to lose everything. Everything's in one place. And I think a box was just better, because a box is better for papers than a bag. Or, I'm like, this is the best way to hold everything, a shoe box. So I had this shoe box. And so I took it with me, I packed it up, and I did everything. I was very productive. It worked very well. So when I was getting ready to go to my friend's birthday, Juanita was driving, and so I drove to her house, and I had to wrap up his little gift and tie everything. So I put all my stuff in the box. But when she sees the box, she just starts laughing. She goes, "What do you have this box for?" I'm like, "Because it has all my equipment." I'm like, "I discovered this week." I'm like, it's very useful. Like, this is so great. It's a shoe box, and I just put my stuff in it. And then when I come home, I take everything out and put everything back where it is. And so then the box is ready to go the next time I have to go somewhere and I just need a little extra stuff. It's in the shoe box. Isn't that clever? I mean, I might upgrade it and get like a nice, like more portable, like car box. I'll call it a car box. And like I'll like take a little handle. And anytime I need to travel and I just need a thing to carry it, I might have a nice little car box, right? But it needs that convenience where you're just like, oh, here's my car box. And then a great example of the use of the car box was we got pieces of cake. So now instead of me like putting a cake on like my seat and it possibly like sliding or whatever or falling, where did I put it? You know it, in the shoe box. So now it's nicely structured. It's not going anywhere. The shoe box. She thought it was funny. I thought it was genius. But she got she got, she's like, I'm like, but this is, I'm like, how many times have we gone out and we just need a little container for our things? And I think the important thing is you come home and you unpack your little shoe box, your car box, if you will. Okay, Patton, it's my idea. You unpack it and then it's ready for your next trip. Like, oh, don't forget this. It's in the box. It was very useful. And so, yeah, but she laughed. Every time she's like, your shoebox. I'm like, you're going to see this again because this is a great idea. I'm not a big fan of, what it is I'm not a big fan of bags. Like I don't like bags because they're not stable, so I like the structure of the box. And yeah, super, super convenient and clever. So anyway, she laughed at me. I don't think she wasn't laughing like, ha, 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 but she just were like, you in your box. I'm like, yeah, got a shoebox. Really feeling myself. All right, something deep. So something deep. We're going to like totally switch gears right now. Now, remember, I told you I went to a party and it gives you a chance to talk to people and catch up. Not every conference, we're people who, we talk to each other. We can have deep conversations. So we did. So I want to talk about this because it we're going to talk about homophobia and what it means. So if y'all don't know, I've always been friends with gay people, but I will say lesbians. And I've always have. Part of the reason why is because, well, people are people. That's one. But I like non-male centered environments. So because I've never been boy crazy or man crazy, I've never have been like, I gotta, like, I've never been the kind of person that has to be in a relationship. I've never been constantly trying to find someone or dating. And part of it could be the way I was raised. There's actually a lot to go into on that one as well. And so I'll kind of connect it. I'll tell my story and then talk about this kind of like homophobia thing, because I just want to talk about it. So we're getting deep. Remember, this is something deep. But this came up this week, so relax for a bit. So one thing, I don't know if I talked about this a bit last week, and I might have. So I'm building on, and I think I did talk about this a bit in something deep. But last week I might have talked about the concept of being a young, or a Black girl being raised in suburbia in mostly white environments and how that impacts you. If I didn't talk about it with you all, let's just say I had that conversation last week somewhere. So I'll kind of give a quick little background of what that is. But it's the idea, or just, well, to me, it's the truth. It's the truth that when you are raised in these environments, and especially as a Black girl, particularly a Black girl in a mostly white environment, and so I'm only going to speak from my experience because it might be the same for others. What you'll find is that you your romantic life doesn't really exist. So what I mean by romantic life, you're like, well, you're a kid. What do you mean romantic life? But you know how if you grew up in a place where mostly the people look like you, then you more than likely had little girlfriends, little boyfriends, people that you liked, boys that you liked, girls that you liked. You probably had that. I didn't have that. I didn't have that because it almost was like it wasn't an option. One, the non-Black boys, they weren't really looking at me. They were looking at the other white girls. And the Black boys also weren't looking at me. They were looking at the white, Hispanic, whatever, as long as they weren't Black girls, right? especially when you start to get towards that middle school area. Like that middle school, when puberty hits, that's what starts to happen. I'll say there was like a little bit before that, you get that. Now, I'll say the few times that the black boys would be interested, they were not boys I would be interested in at all. Meaning these, respectfully, and I'm saying this respectfully, please, like, when I say this, you all, I'm saying respectfully, they weren't cute. Like these dudes were like, it was, I was insulted. And I know that sounds crazy. I don't care. I was insulted by the boys that actually had the nerve to like me. And I know I'm going to tell you, the boys that outright liked me, one was gay. He's gay now, but he was gay. The other was just no. And I think the other one's gay now too. So it was more of they just wanted to like someone, right? But it wasn't like, I'm talking about genuine interest. Okay, so the boys that you would want to like the athletes, they're into similar things you're into, they're handsome, you're cute, all that. They weren't checking for you. The only way that they might check for you is they just came in from a different state where they were used to liking black girls. If they had just come in from a different state where they were used to liking black girls, you might get it. Because there's one boy that did like me in middle school because he had just moved in. So you had to kind of catch him fast. And that was really the most play that you could get as a black girl, is if you grabbed a guy who left a state where he was used to liking black girls. But if these boys were raised in these areas, in these like white suburban areas where we were the minority, where we might be the only one or two in our classes, those boys were not checking for you. They weren't looking at you. They wanted to be with the other girls. They were looking for that attention. They were looking for that. They wanted to be with them. Whereas we were still trying to stay with each other. So most of the black girls hung out with each other because we had to deal with some of the same discrimination, some of all the BS that we live our whole life. So we weren't desired. So you grow up not really feeling desired. And we take it in different ways. The way I took it, and I think it's because I had an older brother. And so my brother was one of those guys, and all his friends were one of those guys. So I saw, early on pretty much what it looks like. Because, he's, I'm watching him pretty much never look at, like he didn't deal with black girls. He just didn't. And it's not who we mess with. And his friends didn't either. And if his friends did, they didn't treat them well. So like, I didn't want to, I was like, oh gosh. So now when it came my time, it wasn't that I didn't like boys. I genuinely did. It was like I didn't have the choice to like them. They weren't going to like me back, or they weren't going to treat me right. Right? There was a guy in school who would date, I remember he would pursue like or they would choose someone really light or kind of biracial. That was okay for them sometimes, like light, biracial, but eventually they would go white or non or whatever. I did not want to be with black girls. And so that was just part of growing up. I know it is what it is. So that shapes you. That shapes how you see things. So for me, I think my attitude was, well, you don't like me, I don't like you. Like, F y'all. I wasn't going to sit there and try to like these guys. And it's not that I didn't think, sometimes I thought, oh gosh, this guy's very cute. It's not that my eyes didn't work. I just knew that nothing else was going to work. Do you know what I mean? So there was plenty of guys who I found to be very handsome, but I just knew they didn't like me. I knew they weren't going to like me. And, that can really affect your self-esteem, because you're like, I know I'm cute. I know I'm smart. I know I'm funny. I know I have these like great attributes, but it didn't matter. I wasn't the right color. My hair texture wasn't the right texture, right? It just wasn't. It wasn't going to work. It just wasn't. I was never going to be that for them. So you grow up like with that kind of notion. So because I grew up that way, I didn't really have a relationship with someone because he was one of the few. My boyfriend that I finally did have, he was one of the few black guys who did actually date black girls. But he acted like he was special for that. He acted, and the thing is, respectfully, I wasn't attracted to him. I did it because I just wanted to have the experience. Like, that's really why I ended up with him. He don't watch my channel, so I don't think his feelings are gonna be hurt. But that is the truth. The truth was, no, he wasn't who I wanted at all. He wasn't who I found to be attractive. It's just that I really, really, really wanted to have the experience of having a boyfriend because I had gone through my whole from elementary to middle school to all this time, and I just watched everyone else get to have the experience. I wanted it too. And I didn't want to have to go to the hood for it because, see, that's the other thing. The other way for you to have found a guy who liked you is that you had to go to the hood. I was raised in the suburbs. And so most of my friends who did actually date Black boys, they had to outsource them. They went to the hood. I'm sorry, we don't have the same mentality. We don't have the same views. I knew that about myself. I was not delusional. And there was a video where this girl said that most of the girls who did that eventually became, this is her phrasing, not mine, hood baby mamas. And all I'm going to tell you is she ain't lied. I wasn't doing that either. I wasn't trying to be a teen mom. I wasn't trying to be a teen mom, which I saw it was a real quick pipeline. I saw what was happening, you know. And I wasn't, because my education was important to me. I was going to Spelman. Like, I knew my future. And so I kind of just had to focus on my future. So the person I ended up dating was someone that was at least aligned that way. He actually ended up going to Morehouse. So I choose someone who was more aligned in like where I was going. And but he definitely wasn't, he wasn't the person I was goo goo gaga over. I appreciated him for who he was. He was a very nice guy. He treated me well. Like he wasn't a bad guy. It's just that that was not my, I literally did what is the songwriter said? I did the best I could with what I had, you know? I definitely, in my personal opinion, chose the best I could based off of what I just explained to you all. Okay? Like, that was just what it was. So anyway, as we move forward, so I'm setting that up for you to kind of help you understand. Because of that, I had to learn not to be that excited about men. Even if I was attracted to them, I've never been excited about them because I dealt with that, which is like, it is like a rejection. I dealt with that rejection so early on. I dealt with it. And then you have to realize, you're like, well, you could have maybe dated outside of your race. Yes, I could have, but there was even a rejection there because, so there was a little boy, I'll say little boy, because I think we were in like 7th grade. I met him at a summer camp and he liked me and I liked him. He was a very nice guy. I was often very shy in new spaces. And he just said, hey, what are you doing over here? Come and hang out with me. Very sweet guy. But he was a little white boy. But we would play like some kind of game. It was like a summer camp that we were at. You know, the game where you're in the room with the balls like flying? I didn't like that. But I did it. I tried. You know, that's the thing when you start, you know. But he was a very nice guy, very nice. But the thing was that I dealt with the idea when my friends found out that there was a nice kind of like white boy that I was nice or friendly with. I dealt with the idea of being rejected by my friends, you know, like, so there was that pressure too. So it was like, there was this pressure of either I'm going to be rejected by my friends and then he was going to be rejected by his friends. So you're either going to be rejected by your friends just because two people got along. Just because two people were kind to each other. That's all it was, right? I wasn't trying to kiss. I wasn't trying to do anything. I just enjoyed this person's company. And it happened before that too. But you get this rejection from your friends. So I learned that, early, you get rejected from your people if you do this. And then if you go the other way, you're just going to be rejected. So there was always going to be some kind of rejection. And let's just say I couldn't handle that. And I don't think a lot of people can. So I kind of, to protect myself, I was like, yeah, I'm just not gonna get into this. Every once in a while, of course, I would still find someone cute and attractive and all of that, but I wasn't gonna get into it. When I got to Spelman, of course, everything changed because now I'm in a Mecca and it's the choices. And so that boyfriend who we actually did go to Morehouse, he pretty much kind of knew, like, yeah, it's probably a wrap. And I wasn't quite ready to break up with him, but he was right. It was a wrap because I was like, I didn't know what to do as far as the choices go. But that time at Spelman was really just that time. Because after that, I still went right back into this kind of, that's the same environment that I was raised in. And the environment doesn't change. They're just adults now. Same concept. Now they're men who aren't interested in you. And so for me, it was like this. If I didn't grab a dude while I was in college, it was like it's pickings were slim, and the pickings have been slim. Unless I had stayed, if I had stayed in, Atlanta, or if I had stayed in, then it would have been different. But I didn't, I went back, and so the pickings were slim. The pickings have been slim, and so how do you survive? You pretty much take the skills that you have, and that is, I cannot, if I'm going to enjoy my life, I cannot sit here and wait and hope for these men to like me. And I can't sit here and wait and try to like them like that. I just got to enjoy my life. And I grew up around independent women who did enjoy their lives. Well, I don't know if they enjoyed their lives, but they were independent and they did for themselves. So they already showed me that, hey, women can take care of themselves. So I knew that. So one, I was like, women can take care of ourselves. So I felt good about that. I knew I pretty much came from that stock. But now the challenge was I had to learn how to be happy. I've done that. So now I'm not only a woman who can take care of herself, I also know how to be happy in my solitude. That's why you're like, well, what? Because this is my life. This is what it is. But the way I learned to do that and feel safe and not have to deal with all of what I just said, I start to enjoy being around women. I mean, I went to a women's college, so that's a big factor. So to me, I always called myself homosocial. So not sexual, but definitely social. I absolutely love the company of women. I like being close to women. I like being in women's spaces. I just enjoy it. I like my life not centered around men. I just find great peace and happiness in it. And I enjoy it what I found is that it's not like any kind of women. I have to be around women who don't center their lives around men. Because if around women who are centered their lives around men, it's really hard. So that's why I pick up quite a few lesbian friends, because they naturally aren't centered around men. So I have found, when it comes to my peace of mind, we talked about the nervous system last week. When I am around lesbian women, my nervous system is calm. Because I know I don't have to deal with the crap. I don't have to deal with I don't have to deal with it. It gave me a space to be safe. Because, one of my study abroads was in Brazil. And in Brazil, I hung out Brazil was hard. When you go down the street, men are whistling at you down the street. That's all you hear all day long. Those cat calls, all of that. Like, they're catcalling. It's a lot, especially for me. I'm like, I'm not really comfortable with this. I'm being desired, but it's weird, right? And remember, I've already trained myself to not even care about it. I can't even be involved. It was a little overwhelming for me. And I just wanted to enjoy myself. And I don't know how, but I met this woman. I met one. She might have thought I was cute. And the thing what I found with lesbian women is that they might be attracted to you at first, but the moment you're like, yeah, I'm not, they're like, whatever, you want to hang out? Yeah, cool, let's go. That's pretty much how it's always worked for me. I love it. And I'm like, please, if any of y'all watching, that's how I feel, please. I love y'all. I just love being around women who are just not male-centered, because now we can just focus on our hobbies. We can focus on our interests. We can focus on so many other things. Like, the world freaking opens up to us. I feel I relate very much to, I would say, what they go through for as far as discrimination. Because I mean, I'm a Black woman. I deal with discrimination all the time. I feel connected. I really do. And I just appreciate, like I said, I appreciate non-male centered women because it's a lot of how I've found my joy in life. But that my first experience was, other than of course being in college, but meaning like chilling, like running the streets. I hung out with I feel like it was like a lesbian gang or something. I go to the lesbian bars with them. I was just with them every day. Those were my friends. I mean, I saw dissertations. I mean, I could have had me a little girlfriend and she was cute. But, but I could have. But they're wonderful people. And the way the men treated me, I loved it because they treated me, they weren't luring. It was like just nice. They were more interested in my personality and getting to know me than trying to be romantic with me because they all assumed that I was gay as well. And I was like, make that assumption. I felt like a person. And so once I had that experience of like, oh, this is what it feels like, just to feel like a person, not an object, not whatever. I'm not an option. I'm just like, I am a person. That was the first time I really felt it, hanging out with my lesbian crew. And so since then, I've always like gravitated towards, I'm like, I always have because my nervous system is calm. I just feel good. I feel relaxed. But there have been times where it hasn't been. So I kind of want to talk about that because last night I was talking to one of my friends and who happens to be gay, and we were talking about how her and her wife really want to like build and spend more time with other gay people, which I'm like, yeah, that totally makes sense. Meanwhile inside I'm like, well, don't leave me out. I mean, I'll go, I'm down, because I just, like I said, peace of mind. I just enjoy, I enjoy the company, but it's really because of just my unique experience, I think, and how I learned to navigate the world. It's how I learned to just navigate things, and so we were just talking about homophobia, and I kind of like as we were talking about it, I was just like, but what is homophobia? Like people always hear it and they kind of almost use it as a slur. Oh, he's homophobic or they're homophobic. One of the things that she was sharing with me was that typically when someone's homophobic is because they haven't dealt with the fact that they are probably gay and they're not dealing with like their own homosexuality. And I'm like, yeah, that could be it. But then I thought about the other ways that you can be. And this is something that I experienced more so if I was with a man or if I was near a man. And that was, or this one time. And we talked about it, but it was hard to talk about it. So I went to an NDIRE concert once. Okay. NDIRE. And she was at a venue in Atlanta. I didn't know that NDIRE in Atlanta meant it's a lesbian event. I did not know. Okay. So we're there at a very lesbian event. Me and my girlfriend, who were just platonic friends, right? But what was happening was that you would see what I thought were couples, but you would see couples, but then a girl might be looking at me like, oh hey. And I'm like, aren't you with so and so? And you have to realize I am very like, I don't care if you're with someone, respect your relationship. And now you're looking at me. Now that right there, that was one of the first times I felt what I think homophobia would feel like. Because there was this fear, because I felt there was a sense of fear, and maybe it wasn't fear. So that's what I'm talking about now. This is something deep. There was this feeling of you're willing to disrespect this person in such a way, you're being very aggressive towards me. And that aggression it triggered me a little bit. I was like, oh gosh, I felt like I felt scared in that moment. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean for you to be that bold? Of course, luckily I had different experiences where, like I said, nervous system calm. But that was one time where I knew I felt differently. And it always stood out to me. I'm like, well, was that homophobia? Was I scared of homophobia, or was I scared about the person? So this is, to me, and I want to talk about this. This was the only thing that I've ever kind of been concerned about was, and that is, the truth is that a lot of times in same-sex relationships, domestic violence can happen more often. Different, violence can happen more often because it's two women or two men, right? And so those kinds of things, or sometimes you'll find that if you are in this disarmed space where you do feel relaxed and you feel comfortable, um if someone were to come onto you and give you unwanted advances, will they listen to you, right? Have they taken advantage of you being comfortable because you're both women and you feel very comfortable? Like, how are they going to behave? Or another good example of that is you go to the jjimjilbang together. Jjimjilbang is like a washroom where everyone's butt naked, or you're in the gym. There's this feeling of, well, we have these different spaces, usually because I think of, that heteronormative idea that we're not supposed to be around each other naked. Am I safe in that space? Right? I think I am, but am I? Or are you seeing me in a way, like, am I putting myself in danger? So I think, to me, and I say danger, meaning, will I have an unwanted advance that starts a borderline into assault, right? And I think, to me, that is where I feel I have felt homophobia, meaning afraid of it. But I will say this, it's never happened. It's never happened. I have been butt naked with women, and a woman is right there in my shower stall. I told y'all that, and nothing happened. I have been to the jjimjilbang, and nothing happened. And even in that night, even in that night where nothing happened, no one ever crossed the line, nothing ever happened. I don't think someone looking at you is assault. I don't think someone smiling and winking at you is assault, and nothing happened. But sometimes I wonder if that is where people come from. I'm like, are you making something, if someone's showing you just a little bit of interest, are they actually doing anything, or are they actually respecting a boundary and just being a little bit vulnerable with you in a moment? So anyway, it was a really interesting thing, and that's what she made me think about and talking about. I'm like, I was thinking deeply about, like, what it means. And I thought about how we all, especially Black people too, can be homophobic. And I'm like, do you need to be? Are you really in danger? Is there really anything to be afraid of? Or is someone just looking at you thinking that you're cute? Is someone, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's really happening? Like, what is actually happening in the moment, versus, are you making something up? So it just made me think about it even more when she was saying it, because I was just like, I kind of had this moment while she's talking. I'm like, when have I felt that way? I'm like, I believe there's been moments where I've had fear, and me sharing this with you all, it's also me showing that you might have the fear, but did you carry it with you, and were you able to be realistic? One of the ways that I believe, and this is why I think I'm talking about it, one of the ways that helped me start to break away from that fear was because, remember, because I had conditioned myself to not even really desire attention from men, because that was the thing. In order for me to survive, I didn't want attention from men. You think I wanted attention from women? It meant the same. I just didn't want the attention at that point. But what helped me was, there was a girl who did like me in school. And she was big in stature. She was a security guard. I don't know how big she was. I might be exaggerating right now, but I'm gonna say she was 6'3". Okay, I might be over exaggerating, but I swear she was big in stature. Okay, she was big in stature, pretty, very nice, like sweet, kind of like a gentle giant kind of person. And she did like me, and she invited me to one of her sporting events. I went. Cause I was like, yeah, I'm ready. I brought my boyfriend. Man, that really disappointed her. She was really hurt by it. And so then I started to feel that what's it called? There's a bit of like a fear, or this kind of I'm a little uncomfortable. And one of the girls that was actually also in the class, who was definitely like a really strong ally, way more advanced, like she understood, like she was there, she understood. She was actually teaching me, just like, she said, she stopped and she kind of challenged me. She was like, so tell me, like, has she ever done anything to really make you uncomfortable? And I was like, no. I'm like, no, she's only been nice. She's like, right. So she's not allowed to think you're cute. And I was like, I am cute. Nah, she can think I'm cute. She's like, exactly. I was like, all right, cool. And after that, that's what changed it for me. It was just like, well, I am cute. Like, I mean, wait, what you want? Right? Like, what you want? So that's what changed it for me. That's what I would say helped me release it. But in having conversations last night, I really it kind of like made me think deeply about the fear part. I never sat there and really like paid attention to the fear until I heard it from someone else, and so I want to talk about that, just something deep. I think sometimes I'm sharing that because sometimes you might find your best friends, the best people to be around are people who can share a similar experience. I think she made me think about it because she was just saying about how she wanted to spend more time. I was like, yeah, I totally get that. I get what it's like. I just like, if I finding people who have a similar background to me, whatever it is not always just race. There's comfort that I have there, and it feels really good. For me, my background that is similar is not being male centered. And so when I'm around women who aren't male centered, there's just a comfort that I have, right? It feels very good to me. I feel most like myself because I really am not a male centered person. I'm a me centered person. But I really have enjoyed, I enjoy, I enjoy being around women. I just do. And I always have. And like I said, it's because of how I was raised, but it just means a lot to me. And I think I saw a cipher, you said you too, like you enjoy being around, like being in the company of men. And so I think that I'm just saying that because if any of you are like me or you're looking to kind of enrich your life that way, I think it's important to find spaces where you're doing that and realize that you're going to probably find a lot more safer spaces with our gay friends and family, and connect and reach out and realize that they can be very safe spaces, very safe spaces to be. And I think it's a way to make sure you're more connected with humanity in general. um I mean, y'all know, I mean, I value my friendships and I value the spaces that I'm in, but I just wanted to talk about that because I think that sometimes we shy away from even considering that we may be homophobic in certain ways or we've had it. And I think that can cause more harm than good if we try to deny we have moments like that. But to me, it's better if you can actually recognize those moments, but then also work through them with emotional intelligence, because all homophobia or any of these phobias is fear. So if you can actually approach it with some emotional intelligence, you can start having deeper relationships with your friends and family and people around you. And I think in more impactful ways. And I especially say it's the Black people because Black people get really stupid when it comes to homosexuality or queerness or anything a little different. And so, yeah, I don't know who's watching. Maybe someone will change or think about that, but I want to use my time to talk about this a little bit today. So there we go. Okay, let's go to something beautiful. One, of course, I really enjoyed celebrating my friends and coworkers. This week was really nice. It was just nice to just celebrate them. It felt so good to me. It brought so much joy to my heart. I felt happy to be alive. I mean, it wasn't just a sugar. I felt happy to be in each moment. Like, I really worked hard to be in the moment of where I was. I'm like, man, this was great. I just love this. I had a great time. I just enjoyed my moments. I enjoyed the people, and yeah, I was happy to be in part of it. Happy to be so fortunate to be a part of two surprise parties in 1 week. Like, what in the world? It was just beautiful. I loved seeing their faces and the tears, the joy. Like when joy is so strong that the tears, like, my friend, like he is genuinely like a smiley kind of guy, great mood, just great personality. But I saw gratitude, like just like, I mean, like we hugged a lot last night because we were all hugging each other, and every time it was just like, we just, all right. I love my friends, I really do. All right, and it was just beautiful. And then the other thing beautiful was this. So there was something really precious about this. So at the first one, we had these like small Legos. Have you guys ever seen those really cute little small, like they're not Legos. It's not the brand Legos, but it's the concept of like those little like plastic puzzle like Lego things that you can make. You can make this one we had were like little succulents. So they were these cute little succulents that we made. And everyone got one. So, they passed it around. So we all had one to work on, and we got to, we're talking and we're putting it all together. I love these things. I absolutely love these things. Okay. But we had different generations, if you will. I don't believe in age, but they do. I forgot. I should have put that in something challenging. Why are y'all so obsessed with time? Oh my God. Why are human beings, let me just, for a second, and this is going to be a short little rant. What is wrong with you people and your obsession with time? Now, I totally understand it in the concept of maybe dating sometimes and making sure that you're dealing with someone who's mentally on your same level. I understand that to a point. But there's also this thing where there is this weird obsession about how you think your life should be, what you think you should be doing, what you think you should be experiencing. I'm like, the only life that you're supposed to be living is yours. And you should be living it to the best of your ability in which you are not causing harm to anyone or the space around you. And you are working to make it better when you leave it and better when you're there. That's it. That's it. If you can do that, what is your obsession with all of this? It's absolutely insane to me. People don't enjoy their lives. People don't do so many things because they're so obsessed with time, this weird concept of age, this weird concept of phases and what they think they're supposed to be doing. Okay? All right. That's my little rant. I think it's the most idiotic thing. I think the concept of age is absolutely idiotic, other than concepts of like actual personal, messing with someone whose brain is not fully developed and all that kind of stuff. I have a clear logical line. I have reason, but I'm just talking about on the larger scope. It's so ridiculous. The obsession that that you see with healthy people who understand how to have healthy relationships with other human beings. It's just so silly. The obsession with time is absolutely insane. So I don't live that way. I don't live on that guide. I don't have an age. I don't focus. There's none of that. I just enjoy my life. I'm here. It's now. This is what matters. Like, that's what it is. This weird, like, obsession with nostalgia is super weird. It's not to say I don't love certain songs. Like, just like, I mean, come on. I had a Guinness and it totally took me to like this nostalgic point. I definitely enjoy nostalgia at times, but I don't put it on a timeline. I'm like, it's more of, I will use the nostalgia to remind me of a feeling that I can enjoy in the present time. It doesn't take me back. It enhances my now. Enjoy your now. All right, let me get back to something beautiful. Because now I'm switching topics, but I forgot to say that. Enjoy your now, Okay. So we had those little Legos, right? Little Lego-like things, and they were cute. But one of my coworkers who might have had more nows than other people, I don't know, I think she gave up. She was just like, she wasn't completing this thing correctly. Now, I'm not going to diagnose myself with OCD or whatever. All I know is that I love these things. I love to see them done well. Okay? I don't think that's what I was just looking at it. She had all these pieces not done. She's like, okay, I'm done. I'm like, you are not done. What is that? And so I was looking at it and I was like, geez Louise, because I had already finished mine. And I was like looking at it, but there was a few people struggling. few people were struggling. They were like, I can't see, or oh, this is hurting my fingers. It was like they had all kinds of issues. Oh, there's just too many instructions. I don't think I have all the pieces. It was just like one thing after the next. So I was like, what is happening over here? Why are they just like they just weren't, it was just really weird. I was like, okay. I'm like, what is happening to these? The pieces are just too small, aren't they? Why are they so small? I'm like, okay, all right. So I'm looking and I'm looking at hers because hers looks like it's supposed to be really cute and beautiful, but she's not completing it. And I'm like, inside, I'm just like, please complete it. Please do it right. Because I can't wait for the finished product. Like, I can't wait for all of us to put our little things together, and there's a little garden. Like, I just can't wait to see what it's gonna look like. And she's messing with my vision. And I'm looking out, and there's a few that are kind of like dragging around. There's other ones, and the rest of us had already completed. So I was like, so I went over there. I was like, oh, you got quite a few pieces there. And she's like, yeah. She goes, she's like, you can, fix it if you want. I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, I don't want to step on your toes. She goes, no, go ahead. I won't be offended. Don't mind if I do. I took all of it and I started doing it. Then one of my other coworkers took the other one that was over there struggling. And then finally we all took over. So then you pretty much saw, the newer people pretty much taking care of their work. And the people who had put in their 35, their 30 years, their whatever years, they were relaxing. And they were like, okay. And they were perfectly fine with it. And there was just something beautiful about it. There was just something beautiful about the fact that we all were having a good time. We all were finding our piece of joy. They did not mind a bit of they weren't offended. You know what I'm saying? Ego wasn't there. And we all just got to do something that we enjoy because we were having a blast. Those of us who were moving like faster through the puzzles, we were having a really good time. So it's like, let's just enjoy ourselves. Like, why stress yourself out? Let's just enjoy ourselves and have a good time. So we were just doing our thing. And I just it felt beautiful to me. Like, I looked around and I just saw like how cute it was. I loved how we all just like stepped in and we were going to like see the project done and complete. And like this in many ways was a team building activity. And to me, that was pretty much a perfect example of what a team building activity is, where people come together and we figure out what our strengths are and we build upon them and we bring the project to completion. And we did. And it was just beautiful to be a part of. And we were just so happy. I mean, yes, we were high on cake, but we were just so happy doing it. And I just was so happy to be a part of that. When I first started working there, you guys, like we talked about work and last week and about me having more appreciation for where I was working. This was a good example of what I meant. Like, one of the first things I had said when I first started was how important teamwork was to me and how good it feels to be a part of a team. I really love being a part of a team. And to be there that day and do that little project with them, even though it was just a little craft, if you will, it felt great and it was beautiful. I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. So that's my something beautiful. It was cool. It was cool. So anyway, I'm now going to do my thing. I told you all I have to get my calories in, and then I need to put my feet up. I'm about to eat well. Then I'm going to put these little feet up, and I'm not doing anything. I'm going to get the thumbnail done. My thumbnail is halfway done, so I just got to take a little picture. And once I get this picture in, that's it. Thumbnail is almost done. I laid out the groundwork for it, so it shouldn't take that long. You all, it has been a wonderful day. So the question is, was this the best week ever? Yeah, of course. It really, see, I'm glad that you're with me and you're witnessing this. I'm not lying. It really is the best week ever. I do it every time. It's the best week ever. Yeah, this week was full of gratitude, so much joy, appreciation. It was filled with a lot of new things. Cake, a crazy amount of cake. I can't wait to tell you about the vegetables I eat next week. It was filled with just good people, and I had a lot of good alone time too. I didn't say that. I mean, I I didn't go out on Friday night. Like I told you about time with people, but I also had great joy hanging out with myself. Great joy. I had a grand old time just hanging out with me. Yeah, I really do like, I say it, but I really do like me. I really do. Like I like what I offer to myself. You know, like what do you bring to the table? I like what I bring to my table. I like what I bring to my table. I like sitting at my table with myself. It's a wonderful good time. So hopefully you guys are, you know, filling up your table with a lot of like wonderful things, and you are recognizing that, yeah, it starts with you. It all starts with you. So hallelujah, hala magic, yo imvunya, and I will see you all next week for the best week ever. Thank you for joining me this go around, and thank you for visiting Kiki's House of Joy. All right, and thank you for letting me visit you wherever you are. All right.